Shavua Tov, a good week. I'm Avraham Shira. Welcome to our Saturday night Zohar. And it's going to describe to us the whole process of the Messianic era, the balance, and what I call God's justification to man. Listen to what he says. Think about it. And you can write me about what your opinions are, because everybody's got an opinion about these things. Anybody that's learned anything about Messiah, etc. And all the signs are here. In the Sof Masechet Sotah, and the Mishnah is telling us all the signs of the Messiah are here, if we look and listen. So it says like this: Shetulim b'Beit Adonai. King David wrote this. They are planted in the house of God. And those, of course, could be beautiful trees if you're a landscaper, but you're a godly landscaper, of course, are the souls of the righteous. Now, what the Zohar does is he takes one verse of Tehillim and expands it to this whole Messianic period. Listen how he does it. He says, those who are planted in the house of the Lord, Mashiach, to invite the souls that are brought in today, to invite the Messiah to come. There has to be an arousal down here for the deliverance to come from above. It is a two-way street. Is it a relationship that demands attention? But he's telling us right away that this verse tells us that there are those souls that their job is to invite, to bring, to pray for the Messiah to come. And where will this planting emerge, beautiful and glorious? In the courtyards of our God, and they will flourish and multiply and blossom and bring beauty into the world. Sounds good so far. So what did I mention? Destruction? Renewal? Well, the verse goes on. It's telling us, this is talking about the revival of the dead, which was the haftarah of the morning reading on Passover. Why? Why are we reading about Ezekiel's vision of the bones coming back to life? Bones, skin, flesh, serious detail here. It's not a movie. It's not a three-dimensional production that we're being promised over here. But why is it brought after Pesach? Because just like the Jews came back from Egypt, they were in the 49th gate of impurity. They were 80% didn't even leave, 20% struggled their way out of slavery consciousness, of bondage, of fear from their own shadow, fear from the future, fear from the past, fear from Pharaoh's army chasing them through the desert. Well, on Passover morning, we read about Ezekiel bringing back the dead, because, well, bringing back the dead is kind of like the fail safe, it's the buck stops here. God tells the world, the buck stops by me. Don't worry. I've got your back. I've got you covered, human race. I'm not going to let you destroy yourselves. Understand it. All the doomsayers, they can't deal with this part of the Bible. They only like the doom part. I have a lot of friends, converts, students that deal with this all the time, because Christianity always talks about the destruction period of Messiah, and Judaism is always looking to the rebirth period of Messiah. And the Lubavitch Rebbe said that the first two world wars were the war of Gog and Magog, and the third war is the psychic war right here. This final period of the redemption of humanity from its own self-destruction. So we're looking at it here. Here he's telling us that this revival of the dead is coming in the house of God, which could be also Mount Zion. It could be also the Har Zaytim, the Mount of Olives over there, just down the street. Well, when it comes, Odinuvum B'Seva, they will be further gathered in satisfaction and brought together with fullness, completion. When will it come? When the world is found in destruction. Now that's kind of scary. This is the Zohar. This isn't Christian Bible. God forbid. This is the master of all masters, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. And he's taking a few words And he's telling us that the day that that there's destruction in the world, that will be the day when the revival will come. So what kind of destruction does it call into mind? And what kind of revival? Well, we already got the picture of the revival from Ezekiel. But what kind of destruction? Does God want to bring the whole world back from a nuclear winter? Is that what it looks like? Or maybe it's the destruction that's been going on all around us, the destruction of the human mind, the destruction of human dignity, the destruction of the family, the destruction of our faith in ourselves, and certainly in our institutions. Or maybe it's a little bit of both. Maybe it's the destruction right now in Ukraine. But it says, that the world will be found in destruction. Now, does it mean all the world? Does it mean in the Haitian islands down in Malaysia and off the coast of South Africa? I don't know. Will it just reach every point of reality? I don't think so. I think that the idea here is that there's gonna, just like there was a redemption from Egypt, there's a global redemption. Because the tentacles of evil have spread into every home and every heart and every mind. And so there has to be redemption from everybody's fallen consciousness. Dishenim, and then we'll be filled. Dishenim is like, you ever smell a field of grass just after it rained? Just alive, full of life. And Rananim, and singing. It won't be just, oh, look, things have gotten better. My lawn is watered for once. They let me water my lawn in Southern California. No. Tishanim Rananim, they're going to be singing with the life, a new vision of life. What will it be? Afterwards it's written, Shamayim Hadashim Va'aretz Hadashah. The heavens will be new and the land will be new. We're not going to be dealing with the same physical realities that we are dealing with now. World air pollution, water pollution, noise pollution, eye pollution. Those are going to be gone. And that's just the land. It also says the heavens. The heavens doesn't just mean, from the from the equator up, or from the Ophek, the horizon up. No, it means the upper worlds, the spiritual worlds, which are the roots of this world. As we've said before, we've got to learn to look like the Zohar looks at things, from the inside out, from the structures to the manifestation of the structure. Right? You have a You look at your body, that's your structure. Your soul lives inside it. When you know your soul, you'll know your body. When you know your body, you're going to know your soul better. And you know where it hurts in your body, you're going to find a place in your spiritual being. And if you find pain in your spiritual being, you can find that in your body as well. There's going to be this open highway of communication between the physical and the spiritual. We're going to see the renewal of the heavens and the earth. And the renewal of the heavens means there's not going to be the judgments against humanity that there are. There's not going to be the judgments against individuals. There's not going to be these mass movements of madmen trying to control the history of the human race and the planet with their laws and their provocations and their fake wars and their fake manipulations of the economies. It's all going to be wiped out. And Gesundheit, as they say in Yiddish, you should be healthy, because we think we're healthy now because I go to the club and work out 4 times a week. That's not health. That's physical shape, we call it, physical. In Hebrew, it's like kosher. It means you're kosher, right? No, it's not like that at all. It means the true health is the fullness of life, that your mind and your heart and your body are all working as one, that you're in the zone all the time. Not just, shooting free throws, right? Not just when you shoot par on the golf course. That your entire being is unified and integrated. Your heaven is your mind. Your heart is your land. Your body is where it all gets expressed. All this is going to come together, my friends. And he goes on to tell us What does it have to do with God's justification? A little title I threw in there. Well, listen. Va'az yismach Adonai. And then God will be happy. Implying God's not going to be so happy when the world is under siege, whether it's intellectual siege, psychic siege, or whether it's in, with long-range missiles. Then Az Yismach Hashem b'masav. God will be happy he created us. Now, to me, this seems to be like one of the highest goals a human being can have, that I make God happy to have created me, even with all the nonsense I brought into this world and did in this world. If we can make God happy with us, that's pretty cool, because he's an eternal, infinite being that can do a lot more. He's got billions of galaxies that he can deal with. But he chose us. And he's going to be happy that he made us. And it's written, B'kol kach lama, and the Zohar asks, why is he going to be so happy with us after all this destruction? Okay, ours is going to be new. Maybe, plants won't need, to be sprayed with pest. I was going to say pestilence, but I think that's the wrong word. Maybe it's the right word. Pesticides. Wouldn't it be great just to have food you don't have to worry about if it's been sprayed? Wouldn't it be great to have water that you're not worried about microplastics? Are these things all just inventions of a conspiratorial mind? I don't think so. They might be exaggerated by an conspiratorial mind, because that's what conspiratorial minds do. They take something and blow it out of proportion. And the people that want to hide stuff, they take something and blow it under proportion, right? And either way, it's false. We just need the straight, hard, cold, real truth. But anyways, the Zohar asks why. Why is God suddenly going to be happy with us after the destruction and the revival? Because lahagid yaki yashar Adonai. Because then we will say God was straight, God was true. God came through. Adonai tzori. God is my rock. And tzor is not just any old little pebble, little rock you pick up off the sidewalk. No, a tzor is it's a cliff. It's a giant rock. It's a boulder hanging on the edge of reality. He's my rock. He keeps me from falling into the abyss. Velo avlatabo, and he has done nothing with injustice. Nothing God has done has been unfair as it feels. When terrible things happen, when our neighbors are murdered, when our children, God forbid, we see the news, we see what's going on in schools around the world. It's just ridiculous how much people are just losing it, and they also happen to have an automatic rifle nearby. What's happening? In the end, this revival will occur, the heavens will be renewed, the land will be renewed, our systems will be renewed, our values will be shifted. We're not going to pay $30 million to watch a guy bounce a basketball. And we're not going to pay students and children to go to school, have to, pay people the ridiculous amounts of money to get a good education. We're going to pay the public teachers good money so that they'll up their ante and up their bar. And then people are going to get a new education altogether. It's going to be a metaphysically combined. We're going to learn about all the physical world with the spiritual teachings behind them. And it's not going to be this contradiction between God or no God, atheist or believer, all that nonsense, all this dichotomy to split human consciousness. We are one consciousness, and truth is truth wherever you find it, whether it's in the soil or in your mind or in your dreams. And the final piece here, v'lo avlatabo, that we won't judge God wrongly anymore, because there is nothing worse that we can do to distance ourselves from him than judge him. Because who am I, a puny little peanut brain, going to judge the master of this awesome universe? Where do I get that ego from to even think of judging God? Well, it's from my pain. You see, we had Holocaust Day this past week. Now, who doesn't judge God after looking at the Holocaust? Well, people that are pure-hearted won't do that. But a lot of people want to judge God. And they use it as a good reason to throw out religion. And where was man? Where was man? So you see, there is going to be a day of reckoning, and there's going to be a day of repair and renewal, and the destruction, well, we're watching it as it happens. Because it's not just dead bodies in a battlefield, folks. It's not World War I all over again. It's people that are even alive and walking down the street that can't even, walk a straight line. They can't know where they're going or where they come from. This whole zombie concept, I think it's happening just because of the drugs and the medications and everything else, the impurities that we are, well, almost forced, unless you go live on a desert island, almost forced to inhale and ingest. But I have hope from this, and I hope you do too, because God is not going to let it fail. He cannot let his own, this is the grand experiment of humanity. And God will not let it fail because his name is on it, because we're going to come back and say, Az, right? Then we're going to say, Yismach Hashem b'ma'asav, la'giki yashar Adonai. God is straight, and he's true, and he's honest, and he's not going to play any games. And he's going to make good on every positive prophecy. He's going to make good on. And all the negative ones, we could still erase those with our work, with your prayer and your tears and your desire. Together, we're going to knock out the negative prophecies and just bring in the good ones. That's the goal. That's the direction. And however long it takes, well, my beard can get a little wider. I don't mind. Another 60 years is fine with me. Why not tomorrow? Why not the next day? Well, okay, fine. Whenever it comes, we're going to do the work. And so, Yashar Hashem, can we stand and look God in the face and say, you're straight, God, you're righteous, you're just, you're true. And we, the human race, have got to get up and dust ourselves off and come back again. It's going to happen. I hope you're here to watch it. I hope we all are. God bless you. Have a great week. Look for us on all the platforms. We've got some new stuff coming out. And this is the work. This is the major leagues. God bless. Shavua Tov.